Welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker. We're coming up on the Chinese Year of the Tiger, and that's why we have our tiger friend here. What are you going to be doing for Chinese New Year, which happens to be the same day as Valentine's Day this year? Perhaps you know of some celebrations, some activities for Chinese New Year. Let us know about those. There should be plenty of things happening around, or at least nearby, I would hope. We're going to be looking at a Chinese tea today. This is a oolong tea. I'm going to go ahead and get this one started up. Perhaps for the new year, the new Chinese year, you want to explore more Chinese teas. So I would encourage you to look at go right up above this, a green button about joining a tea tasting with us. You'll find a schedule of teas. We do a lot of Chinese teas. Also, a lot of Japanese teas are going to be coming up. Fresh, new green Japanese teas are going to be coming around the corner. You know, April-ish will be the time period for probably the major flow of those green teas to come through. You also find information about equipment like a Chinese gaiwan, which I do recommend having and gaining some skill in learning to use. We're going to go ahead and get this tea started up. We've got our regular electric kettle that we're using here, and we've heated our water to a good rolling boil because a oolong likes to have a pretty high temperature. The other thing that you may want to consider is one of those automatic water boilers. You actually look on the right side of the page, you'll scroll down and you'll see a Zoji Rushi water boiler. Locks the temperature at one of three temperature choices that you can make. Ideal for holding that water at that temperature and having it ready for any time that you want. But talking about teas and our tea equipment here, we're going to introduce our tea as well and go through a tea tasting. First off, this is from China Kung Fu Tea Art Store. I'll get the name right in a second. China Kung Fu Tea Art Store, which is an eBay-based store. This is their TieLuoHan, which is from the Wui Mountain area, and I'm looking here. This is 125 grams, which you will find online. 125 grams sold for $14.39 currently. What you may see in the next few weeks is more and more tea companies are going to be clearing out their space for the new arrival of teas, which will come in again late March, early April, and start putting those out as well. So they're wanting to get their '09 teas out of the way, so they'll be ready for that new tea. Put this away a little too early because we do also need to talk a little bit about this tea and talk about the major three areas: the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. This one came in a sealed bag as well inside this tin. We're going to go give this one a smell and talk about the dry leaf. Okay, first off, nice, warm, toasted type smells. I mean, this is something like sticking your nose down into a box of Cheerios. It's got a bit of that toasted, nutty type aspect. The other thing we're going to note, I'm going to get out my spoon here so that you can kind of look and see as I put this in, is that we have a pretty long, here's a 2-inch size. These are larger leaves that are kind of crumpled, squeezed in along that vein. You've got some that have been twisted quite well along that main middle vein of the leaf. So these are single leaves. You've got dark chocolate brown, seal brown, like a grayish brown in color, deep toasted, warm-looking, earthy type colors there. Of course, the next thing we're going to be doing is looking at our wet leaf. So let's go ahead and talk about that and get that ready. Of course, also you'll be getting the experience of using a gongfu style, which is can be especially useful for a lot of your Chinese green teas. Other ways that you may want to consider for using it for tasting oolongs. Some would even say there's a special skill of matching the right oolong with the right clay and especially in particular those Yixing, those purple clay teapots that are made that come from China. When the combination is right between the right teapot with the mineral content and the right tea, those flavors, aromas can be enhanced. That teapot will actually start to kind of take on a sheen to it, which increases the value of the teapot as well. So we're going to give this one a nice quick pour. As you saw, I've got my middle finger and my thumb on the rim of the cup. I've got my index finger holding the lid, and I've angled my lid over so that it can pour. There's a gap that will allow me to pour, but also a gap on the top, which is now the top, where the air can come through, so you get a smooth pour without dribbles. And let us now kind of take a look at this wet leaf. Talk a little bit about what we have here. A lot of or complex amount of flavors kind of really hitting your nose on this. There is a zesty kind of tangy aspect to this. It's not quite citrus though. It's a little bit beyond citrus, almost grapefruit / cherry type zesty sweetness. And the other aspect is there is a deep kind of roasted type note. It's almost like melted plastic. If you got your cigarette lighter and put a plastic spoon over it, there is a bit of a very fiery melted type note to this. It's not off-putting and it's not overwhelming. It's in the background. So the other thing that you look at with these leaves is you're going to notice that these are good full size or more mature size of leaves, a bit larger, a bit thicker in the feel and in the bite to them. They got they're a bit tougher than say a delicate green tea would be. Our colors have really become more of a duller, kind of a brown green color, almost a little bit of a grayish green there as well. So those you do have some full-size leaves as well. For example, here is a full-size leaf, so that's about 2 inches or so, 1.5 inches, 2 inches there. Okay, so that really covers our wet leaf. Let's move now and get ready to talk about our liquor. Of course, we've got our wine glass here. Helps us look at that color, which is an amber, orangey amber, close to a copper, a bit brighter, a bit thinner than, say, a Lipton black tea, but a good rich tone for a dark oolong like this one. Bit of a tanginess, somewhat like a pink grapefruit. A bit of a zest to it. That's one of the things we know. There is a bit of a texture, a feel, a mouth feel to this tea. It is fairly smooth, not creamy, not brisk like a black tea, but warm, toasty, and light broth that quickly transitions to a bit of a zestiness to it. Okay, so that's what you're getting from this. You are getting those kind of toasted, almost scorched Cheerio taste in the beginning. Moving to the mid palate, and then in the aftertaste, it remains a little bit mid palate with a bit of a cooling sensation coming from the back of the throat and the mouth. So a good ride for your tongue, I would say, because it does have that warm. It's got a bit of a zest and spike to it, and yet it does have that kind of cooling sensation, especially as you open your mouth. Take a breath in and out. so that it's not overly drying. It's a nice refreshing sensation. I could especially, this could be a kind of tea that would really come out in the summertime, and just at first it would heat you up, but then it would drop you. It would really drop that temperature and make you feel cool as well. So because of those kind of toasted, tangy flavors that we had, that zesty yet cooling aftertaste that we talked about with the grapefruit especially, we could have seen a bit more pronounced aromas from this tea, but overall, because of the nice blend of body and aftertaste and aromas, we gave this tea a 90. Again, this was from Chinese Kung Fu Tea Art Store. This was their TieLuoHan, a dark wui tea, something that you could consider as a gift, a new corner to turn for after the Chinese New Year, a tea to enjoy by yourself or with friends. So come back and tell us your experience, your tea journey, and travel with us here at Walker Tea Review.